Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday service. And for those who celebrate, may the 4th be with you. Whether you are here in person or you're here online, we are glad that you came to be with us this morning. We are stronger in community. The mission of this congregation says that we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. And we invite you to explore the ways that we strive to live out this mission. I'm the Reverend Lucy Bunch, one of the ministers fortunate enough to serve this congregation, along with my co-ministry colleague, the Reverend Dr. Roger Jones. And I am preaching today on the topic of music for the body and the soul. To accompany my sermon, I have arranged for special guests to be here, the Sacramento Master Singers. With director Ralph Hughes and accompanist Natsuki Fukasawa. She's also playing our hymns for us today, so thank you so much. If you're with us online, you can find a link to the order of service posted in the chat box. And if you're new to us today, and I met a couple of new folks when I was greeting people out front, I encourage you to fill out a newcomer's card, either on a link in the chat box or at the welcome table after the service so we can connect with you. And we'll send you our weekly message, which comes out by email every Friday. Next Sunday and every second Sunday, plan to stay after the service for a newcomer orientation and tour. Everyone is welcome. The blue sheet, can someone lift up a blue sheet for me? Oh, you guys are so great. The blue sheet will tell you everything that's going on this week and things that are coming up. And I want to draw attention to one important thing. We're gearing up for our congregational meeting on May 18th. It will be after the service. We elect new officers and vote on our budget. Today, after the service, you can meet the candidates for election in the Welcome Hall. And Tuesday evening, there will be a forum on our budget and strategic plans, 2 items that we're voting on the 18th. You can join them in the Zoom room where we have our Sunday services. This morning, if you have a joy or sorrow or celebration that you would like Reverend Roger to share during the prayer, you can come forth over to our candle and card table, light a candle, and write your joy or sorrow on a card. You are also always welcome to light a candle just because you need to light a candle this morning. One more announcement, and this is going to require you to remember something, so put on your remembering brain cells. I'm going to preach on the embodied aspects of music. So in order for you to have an appreciation of those embodied aspects, I'm asking you that you do not applaud after the master singers sing. Just sit in silence and let the music settle into your body. If you have to tell them how wonderful they are, and they are, frankly, quite wonderful, you can share your appreciation with a singer in the Welcome Hall after the service. And now, as the master singers come up and prepare to sing, please remember to check your cell phone, be sure it's on silent mode, and all your alarms are off so that we can be present for the service.
Our first selection is Sure on This Shining Night by Morton Lauridsen. The words are from a poem by 20th century American poet James Agee. The whole poem is called Description of Elysium. The words that Mortensen set are from the middle of that poem. Sure on this shining night of star-made shadows round, kindness must watch for me this side the ground. The late year lies down the north. All is healed, all is health. High summer holds the earth, hearts all whole. Sure, on this shining night, I weep for wonder, wandering far alone, of shadows on the stars.
Marlena Rodriguez is our chalice lighter this morning. Come on up, Marlena.
Good morning, everyone. This reading comes from the Unitarian Universalist Handbook, and it is by Reverend Jacob Trapp. To worship is to stand in awe under heaven of stars, before a flower, a leaf in sunlight, or a grain of sand. To worship is to work with dedication and with skill. It is to pause from work and listen to a strain of music. To worship is to sing with the singling beauty of the earth. It is to listen through a storm to still the small voice within. Worship is kindred fire within our hearts. It moves through deeds of kindness and through acts of love. To worship in the mystery within us, reaching out to the mystery beyond. Thank you.
If you are a child or adult involved in RE, which includes this morning junior and senior high youth groups, this is your time as we invite you to make your way back out through the welcome hall. And please, from wherever you might be, guide us in singing your song. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other one. One foot in front of the other. One foot and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other one. One foot in front of the other. One foot and lead with love.
Good morning. It's good to be with all of you here in the room and those of you with us online. Now we light our candle of compassion and resistance for these times of disruption and anxiety when cruelty is on display in our country. We light this flame as a reminder to bear witness to human decency, dignity, and freedom. By this light, let us remember that fear is outrun by hope and that hatred is no match for the power of love. In the days to come, may this flame light our way forward with courage and with hope. Blessed be and amen. This is the time when we receive the joys and sorrows and concerns and prayers that have been brought to our attention, and this morning, once a month, with the lighting of candles. If you have a joy or sorrow to be included in the pastoral prayer next Sunday or in a future Sunday, you can find the Joys and Sorrows link. You can click on that, which is in the Friday weekly email message. I want to mention first that the memorial service for our member John Peterson will take place here this coming Saturday morning at 10:30 with a reception following. That's Saturday. Carol shares the joy that her daughter Nora, who was raised in religious education here at UUSS in the 1990s, got engaged last weekend. And another person writes that in spite of all the chaos, I'm enjoying the peace that comes with this beautiful weather. And one among us is expressing gratitude for good medical care for my loved one. And Sarah Hefner expresses both the joy and sadness. Sad that I could not visit my family for my birthday due to a cold, but happy because my mom is visiting from Virginia this week. Francesca Wilmot, a mother in our congregation, writes, "We are joyful for our daughter Una Stanley, age 8, who bravely underwent gamma knife radio surgery at UCSF on the 25th of April. We are grateful to her skilled medical team who believe they have addressed the underlying cause of her stroke last year. Blessings to Una and her family." Pam is expressing hope for the best for my sister-in-law's recovery from a stroke. Our member Lori Jones was hospitalized and will be in a rehabilitation center in South Sacramento for the next 30 days. Our member Colleen Sawyer Schlepfer is also convalescing in a rehab facility after a serious hospitalization last week. Our member Jan Fleming is grateful for her knee replacement surgery last week and is recovering at home with family help. We send wishes of ease to Jan, and we send wishes of healing to Colleen and Lori. We send prayers of healing to everyone who is anticipating a medical procedure in the coming days and weeks, and to those awaiting the results of medical tests, we send peace and calm. For all who are marking occasions of joy and reasons for gratitude, may their hearts be lifted, and may we all send our goodwill toward them and toward everyone. Please join me in the spirit of intention and peace as I offer these words of prayer to be followed by a time of silent reflection. O Spirit of life, you who animates our bodies and enlivens our senses, be with us now and hold us in the days to come. On this morning, we call to mind all the people in our lives who need strength, and we call to mind the people in places around the world in great need of protection and care. May all people know that the same love which holds us is holding all people everywhere. And may we embody that enduring love in our daily lives, through our words and our actions, through kindness, patience, generosity. In times of stress or challenge, may we find serenity and courage when we need it. Let us be reminded that the power of love is enough to hold even that which is difficult or confusing to us. And let us release into that love the burdens we carry too heavily. And may we now center ourselves in an awareness of our breathing. And may we relax into the Spirit which breathes in us. Let us ground ourselves in an awareness of our bodies and be grateful. And let us give thanks for the ordinary miracle of being alive. Now let us pause for a few moments of silent reflection.
Please join in singing. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. Love holding us. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. Once more. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Good morning. I'm Courtney O'Neill, your worship associate today. So, back in September, my husband Michael and I were driving to the Bay Area to see the final Oakland A's game at the Coliseum. We didn't get far because while we were on the freeway just outside of Sacramento, we were rear-ended and our car was pushed into the car ahead of us. Our vehicle was totaled, but we were uninjured, thankfully. Still, in the days that followed, I found myself struggling emotionally. I was teary, I was anxious and frustrated, overwhelmed by the hassle of the insurance claim. And physically, I felt fine. Mentally, I felt very out of sorts. A couple of days after this accident, I was overwhelmed by these feelings that I really couldn't quite name. So I sat down at my piano. And I decided to put everything else I had planned for that afternoon aside, and I was just going to focus on a piece that I had been meaning to learn for years, and I had never found the time. I sat down and I practiced for a couple of hours, gradually working through the first 2 pages of that piece. When I finished, I noticed something unexpected. My mind felt clearer. My body felt more relaxed. And that anxiety that had been weighing on me earlier seemed to have eased. This was curious to me, so I repeated the experiment the next day. Again, I had some feelings of overwhelm and anxiety, so I sat down, picked up where I left off at the piano, and again, after an hour or two, I felt significantly calmer. This had started as a distraction, but it unexpectedly turned into something deeper. Now, I've played the piano for most of my life, but I've never used it intentionally as a way to regulate anxiety. But over the next few days, I made it a point to sit down at least once a day, sometimes more, and each time I left feeling more grounded, more centered. I began to wonder what exactly was helping. Was it the music itself that was healing me? Was it the act of using both hands, which that can mirror techniques like bilateral stimulation, a technique used in forms of trauma therapy? Or was it simply the focused attention that pulled me away from the swirl of thoughts in my head? As it turns out, there could be science to support some of what I experienced. A 2022 study from Johns Hopkins found that playing musical instruments can have positive effects on motor, cognitive, and emotional functioning in individuals with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Now, I don't have a neurodegenerative disease, but when I read this article, the findings resonated with me. Music as therapy isn't just a poetic idea. It has measurable benefits for the brain and for the mood. This experience reminded me that healing doesn't always come in ways that we expect. Healing can arrive quietly in forms that may be familiar, but then can provide unexpected benefits. That car accident shook me more than I initially realized, but it also brought me back to a deeply familiar and now much more meaningful musical practice. What began as a moment of escape became an important tool that I can now turn to for my own emotional well-being. This process has increased my appreciation for my discipline in music, the structure, the focus, the quiet demands, and it's deepened my love in a way I never appreciated or expected. And now the Master Singers will present their gift of music. And as a reminder, there will be no applause afterwards so that we can fully experience their music in our bodies.
I'll read the text of O Oriens in both Latin, which we're singing it in, and in English translation. O Oriens, splendor lucis aeternae, et sol justitiae. Veni, et illumina sedentes in tenebris et umbra mortis. O morning star, splendor of light eternal and sun of righteousness, come and enlighten those who dwell in darkness and the shadow of death.
I Am in Need of Music by Elizabeth Bishop. I am in need of music that would flow over my fretful, feeling fingertips, over my bitter, tainted, trembling lips, with melody, deep, clear, and liquid slow. Oh, for the swaying, for the healing swaying, old and low, of some song sung to rest the tired dead, a song to fall like water on my head, and over the quivering limbs, dream flushed to glow. There is a magic made by melody, a spell of rest and quiet breath and cool heart that sinks through fading colors deep to the subaqueous stillness of the sea and floats forever in a moon-green pool held in the arms of rhythm and of sleep.
Many of you are familiar with Anne Lamott, a writer who lives in Marin County. This excerpt is from her book, Traveling Mercies. And in it, she tells a story about a very difficult time in her life when she was dealing with addiction and despair. And during this time, she would often go visit a flea market near her home. These are her words. If I happened to be there between 11 and 1 on Sundays, I could hear the gospel music coming from the church right across the street. It was called St. Andrew Presbyterian, and it looked homely and impoverished, a ramshackle building with a cross on top, sitting on a small parcel of land with a few skinny pine trees. But the music wafting out was so pretty that I would stop to listen. I knew a lot of the hymns from the times I'd gone to church with my grandparents and from the albums that we'd had of spirituals. Finally, I began stopping in at St. Andrew from time to time, standing in the doorway, listening to the songs. I couldn't believe how run down it was, with terrible linoleum that was brown and overshined and plastic stained glass windows. But it had a choir of 5 black women and one rather Amish-looking white man making all that glorious music, and a congregation of 30 people or so radiating kindness and warmth. During the time when people hugged and greeted each other, various people would come back to where I stood to shake my hand or try to hug me. I was as frozen and stiff as Richard Nixon. After this, the scripture was read, and then the minister would preach. And it would be enough to send me running back to the sanctuary of the flea market. I went back to St. Andrew's about once a month. No one tried to con me into sitting down or staying. I always left before the sermon, but I loved the singing. Something inside me that was stiff and rotting would feel soft and tender. Somehow the singing wore down all the boundaries and distinctions that had kept me isolated. Sitting there, standing with them to sing, sometimes so shaky and sick, I felt like I might tip over. I felt bigger than myself, like I was being taken care of, tricked into coming back to life.
This congregation's mission says we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. And one of the ways we live out this mission is by the spiritual practice of generosity. We give away half of every Sunday's offering to an organization that is working to make a difference in the world, especially in the local community. In May, our community partner is the Sacramento chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. NAMI is dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans. What started as a small group of families gathered around a kitchen table in 1979 has blossomed into the nation's leading voice on mental health. Our local NAMI chapter is one of more than 600 local affiliates working to raise awareness and provide support and education. Members of UUSS are active in the local chapter, including in yesterday's walk for fundraising. Thank you for your generosity to UUSS and our community partner. This morning's offering will be given and received, and remember when the music is concluded to receive the music without applause.
I'm back. We're singing a song called Where the Light Begins. Here's how the song begins. Perhaps it does not begin. Perhaps it is always. Perhaps it takes a lifetime to open our eyes, to learn to see what has forever shimmered in front of us. The luminous line of the map in the dark. The vigil flame in the house of the heart. The love so searing we can't keep from singing, from crying out in testimony and praise.
Perhaps it does not begin. Perhaps it is always. Perhaps it takes a lifetime to open our eyes, to learn to see. The luminous line of the map in the dark, the vigil flame in the house of the heart, the love so searing we can't keep from singing. The luminous line of the map in the dark, the vigil flame in the house of the heart, the love so searing we can't keep from singing, from crying out. Perhaps it does not. Perhaps it does not begin. Perhaps it is always. Perhaps it takes a lifetime to open our eyes and see.
As the greeters bring forward our offering, please join me as we accept the offering with our unison response. May generosity bless our world, and may gratitude nourish our spirits.
Happy May, everyone. For those who celebrate the cycles of the earth, happy Beltane, the cross quarter between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. This is the time of year when the earth is fecund. The life force is bursting forth. Look outside and you'll know what I mean. There are a lot of fertility rituals going on in my backyard between bees and flowers, just saying. So it has been my tradition on the first Sunday in May to honor Beltane by preaching on some aspect of embodiment, something about our physical bodies. Music is one of the most embodied art forms. And my inspiration for today's sermon came from Karen Armstrong, the religious historian that I used in my sermon last month on the case for God. Armstrong argues that music is an important form of human expression. But in particular, she said, and here I quote her, it is the most corporeal of the arts. It is produced by breath, voice, horsehair, shells, guts, and skins, and reaches residences in our bodies at levels deeper than our will or consciousness. That one sentence covers the whole musical experience, from the instruments we use, animal skins on drums, horsehair violin bows, flutes made from bone, to the embodied act of making music, singing, blowing into a reed, beating on a drum, to the experience of listening and taking in melody, rhythm, resonance, not just with our ears, but with our whole bodies. Whether making music or listening to it, we do take it all in. From the lullabies we hear as babies, those teenaged angst songs alone in your room, music played at our wedding, on and on. We create, we experience the soundtracks of our lives. Like Anne Lamott, I remember all the words and melodies of the hymns from my Baptist childhood, and I can sing them right here. Many dementia sufferers who can't recognize or remember the names of their loved ones can sing along with beloved music from their youth, and they light up when they do so. Music is in their bodies. Today we listened to music created with voices, and we sang together in community. Singing is one of the most embodied forms of music. There's no intermediary. Your body is the music. Your body is the instrument. And whether we are making music or listening to music, there is a profound effect on our bodies. Courtney covered some of this in her reflection with you. Music can affect our heart rate and blood pressure, our stress levels, hormone release, muscle function, immunity, pain perception. Music reaches us through tempo, melody, rhythm, pitch, timbre, harmony, and a complex stew that affects our bodies in so many ways. Music works directly on the autonomic nervous system, the system which controls all the unconscious body functions such as breathing, heart rate, hormonal response, and digestion. That's also the system that manages anxiety and stress. I think that's what Armstrong meant when she said that music reaches resonances in our bodies at levels deeper than the will or consciousness. Music eases and helps regulate our body's conscious and unconscious systems. But I want to simplify all that down into one word, all those amazing things that music can do for our body. One word: healing. Music has the most powerful healing abilities in ways that we really don't understand, and maybe we don't need to understand. Maybe we just need to know that music heals our bodies and our souls. I had a serious bout of depression in my 20s, and music therapy reached into parts of me that I felt were completely lost. I don't remember anything specific about what happened. I remember there was a guitar. I don't remember if we sang. I don't know whether the therapist sang for us. But what I do remember is that something, somewhere deep inside of me, started coming alive. Music helped me feel something other than nothing. Those of you who have had depressive experiences can understand this. And when you're depressed, starting to feel is the beginning of healing. I think that's why I was so moved by that reading from Anne Lamott, how music permeated her body and spirit. She said, somehow the singing wore down all the boundaries and distinctions that kept me isolated. Sitting there, standing with them to sing, sometimes so shaky and sick, I felt like I might tip over. I was bigger than myself. I was being taken care of and tricked into coming back to life. When you're singing or creating music with others, you are part of something bigger than yourself. That is the corporeal quality of music. All the musicians come together in creating something wonderful. For me, choral singing makes me part of something that is greater than myself. At times, I feel completely present in the singing. The whole world is reduced to the music, the voices, the conductor's hands. There is no distinction between my voice and that of my fellow singers. The only thing that exists is the music, and the only sense of time is the rhythm and motion of the melody. It's a transcendent experience. My spouse plays in an orchestra, and I asked her about music as an embodied experience, and she said something that just was perfect. She said, I am not doing something, I become the music. You can have the same experience by being an audience to a performance. I asked you not to clap today so that we as a corporate body could let the music settle into our individual bodies, to appreciate it within our bodies. I have experienced this at concerts when at the end of a song, we all, the conductors, singers, and audience, release our breath together in one moment of connection and appreciation. I felt that with you this morning, letting our bodies express the experience of the music. Some cultures have a powerful history of communal singing. Estonia, like the other Baltic countries, has long been known for its strong traditions of communal singing. When the Russian domination that Estonians had endured since the end of World War II came to an end, 250,000 people gathered to sing the songs that they had been forbidden to sing during the occupation. Music sounded throughout the city and the country. Imagine what it would have been like for those people to sing the national anthem publicly for the first time in more than 50 years. One of the books that I read for this service was titled, "This is Your Brain on Music, The Science of a Human Obsession." And the author spent some time reflecting on this question: why is there music? What evolutionary purpose does it serve? One argument, let's call them the mean people, one argument was that it had no function in the survival of the species. It was merely cultivated hedonistic pursuit. Now, there's nothing wrong with cultivated hedonistic pursuit, but I think music is more than that. Another argument was that it served as a function to encourage reproduction. Now, I have to admit, given that Barry White exists, I can't fully argue with that point. Sorry. Here we go. Back to our regularly scheduled sermon. So what I want to say to them, what I want to say to those scientists and philosophers, I think they need to lift their heads out of their research papers and look around and open their ears. First of all, music is not just about humans. We did not invent it. Cicadas, birds, frogs croaking. My cat goes when he sees a bird outside the window. This is the rhythm of the life force engaging. And even for animals, it's not always about reproduction. Singing, making sounds, and music can be for pleasure, connection, and self-soothing. Why do cats purr? Music is for and about the body, but also the soul. Feeding the soul, uplifting the soul, expressing the soul. I don't think we humans can live without this fullness intended for us. Music that sounds the heights and depths of the great mystery of what it means to be alive. When I was in seminary, in my theology class, we were given one of those small index cards with the lines on it, and we were told to write down on the card, sorry, I'm having a hard time this morning. Here we go. We were told to write down on the card our proof that God exists. I wrote down music. Music is my proof of the existence of God. But it is not that the God who's up in the heavens managing things from afar. This is the God, the goddess of the throb of life, the interconnection of all beings, the life force that holds and sustains us all. This is the God of melody, of rhythm, timbre, of harmony. This is the God of everything and everywhere, just like music. It's in the deepest part of our being, and yet communal and transcendent. Something that is all of us, and something that is greater than any of us. Music heals us, body and soul. It connects us to each other. It creates beauty that has the power to transform. Music feeds the soul and calls us into a greater spirit. Sounds like something divine to me. Blessed be.
Then step into that flow of the goddess of music as we proclaim, "My life flows on in endless song."
As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, please join me in speaking these words together. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light, love, and commitment of this gathering into the days to come.
Let's all reach out to those at home, reach out to our world, reach out to the music of life. Don't keep from singing. Sing. Let music into your heart. Sing, play an instrument, dance, feel the throb of life, and let the music heal you, body and soul. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.